welcome you all to this video which will discuss about contract services in housekeeping department. In this particular video, we will discuss about contract services versus outsourcing, contract specification, housekeeping services which are usually given on contract, types of contract services, method of costing contract services, guidelines for hiring contract services, advantages of contract services and disadvantages of contract services. In this particular slide, you can see one picture. This picture indicates cleaning of high raised building from outside by a Spider-Man's method of cleaning, where this particular person hangs on a rope. He or she will be having safety belt around the waist, and then he will start cleaning from top, and then they will complete the task by climbing down and completing the cleaning process from top to bottom. This is one of the most common contract that is given to an outside agency by the hotel housekeeping department and many other organizations which are having a tall or a high raised building which needs to be cleaned from outside. Now let us understand the difference between the contract and outsourcing. Many times we get confused with these two terms, and the terms are contract and outsourcing. Before that, let us understand that according to Indian Contract Act in 1872, contract is an agreement enforceable by law made between two or more persons by which rights are acquired by one or more to act on part of the others. Now let us quickly understand what is contract. A contract can be defined as an agreement between two parties negotiating a business deal, whereas outsourcing is a conscious business decision to move internal work to an external provider. For example, in housekeeping department, you need to prepare a flower arrangement. Now, if you are purchasing the flowers to a contractor and then you are making your own flower arrangement, or the staff of the housekeeping department or the florist who is part of hotel housekeeping department is making the flower arrangement, in that case you are purchasing the flowers on contracts. So purchase of that flower is contract and it is not outsourcing. Whereas in second case, you want a flower arrangement and you are not purchasing flower. Instead of purchasing flower, you are purchasing a flower arrangement that is required for your hotel from a outside agency or a florist who is on contract. So if you are purchasing the entire flower arrangement as per the requirement, we call it as outsourcing. So this is the basic difference between the contract and outsourcing. Let us go to the next slide, and this particular slide, let us see about contract specification. Whenever you want to have a contract, it is essential for the housekeeper or any other manager to prepare a clear specification so that there should not be any scope of doubt or any scope of discrepancy between the contractor and the service provider and the person who is getting the service for their organization. For example, there should not be any difference of opinion. There should not be any discrepancy between the contractor and the housekeeper. That is the reason the specification should be detailed and it should be well thought of and prepared in a proper manner to avoid any further problems. contract specification is important as the level of cleanliness depends on the time lapse between successive cleaning processes. For example, horizontal surfaces may need daily dusting and vertical of the surfaces in same location can be cleaned on weekly basis. A contract specification is description of the method, equipment and materials required as well as the hotel's quality expectations, including appropriate penalty and cancellation clauses. It also reflects the provision for adequate supervision, listing the hotel's requirement in details. The contract specification also indicates about the existing provision for storage areas, lockers, and perhaps accommodations for the contract staff. Specified frequencies of inspection that should be agreed upon by the service provider is also mentioned in these specifications. The remuneration for the job, the terms and conditions of payment, and the termination procedure, etc., also is defined in the contract specification. Both parties should sign these contract specification. Let us go to the next slide and let us discuss about housekeeping services which are usually given on contract. Cleaning in many organization, in many hotel is given on contract. This can be on consultancy basis or specialist work like deep cleaning. Contract cleaners provide both general and specialized services which can include general cleaning of public rooms, toilets, kitchens, provision of bedroom cleaning services, periodic cleaning of walls, ceiling, carpets, upholstery, windows, and different surfaces. Other type of contract services utilized in the housekeeping department of the hotel is linen hire. Full linen hire services or specialized items such as uniforms, towels, banqueting items, etc., can be taken on hire basis or on rent. Then, laundry and floor arrangement, completely or partly, is given on contract in many housekeeping department of various hotels. Personal services or product, for example, shoe cleaning machine, dispensers for towels, soap, dust control, pest control, refuse collection, horticulture, and landscaping are also given on contract. Pest control completely, and almost all the hotels, will say most of the hotels, they try to give pest control on contract. Equipments, completely or partly, many hotels they hire equipments instead of purchasing the equipments. Now let us understand about the types of contract services. Types of contract services, it can be a long term contract, can be short term contracts, can be hiring contracts as linen, equipments, etc. It can be a leasing contracts as furniture and furnishing, or it can be consultancy services as a contract where experts visit the hotel and guides the staff in achieving professional standards. So in this way, we may have different types of contract. And in next slide, we will discuss about different types of contract services which are given in the housekeeping department. So contract services. Types of contract services: pest control, laundry, horticulture, glass cleaning, security services, polishing of different surface, specialized cleaning as cleaning of carpets and chandeliers, flower arrangement, linen, and public area. So these are the areas which is given on contract in the housekeeping department. Now, in some more slides which is going to come, we will discuss about method of costing in contract services. Method of costing. The method used to assess The cost of the contract depends on its type, size of the job being carried out, skills required, policy of company, and budget. There are different methods. We'll discuss about five different costing methods. First one is management fee consultancy basis. The customer provides his own labor, equipments, materials, etc., and the contractor provides the management with the expertise and possible supervisory staff. So this kind of contract costing is known as management fee consultancy basis. Now let us discuss about the second method of costing contract services, and the second one is fixed periodic cost. It may be made either as a total cost or cost per unit of work. This is a very commonly used method and is available in two forms. Under fixed periodic cost, first one is uncontrolled input. The contractor agrees to provide a service of a given nature for a specific cost. There is no indication of the number of workers, hours worked, or the type of equipment and materials used. Therefore, it is essential that the specification is detailed indeed. And the second type of fixed periodic cost is controlled input. This type of contract also specifies the minimum number of workers, hours worked, and other equipments. Now, in this particular slide, we will discuss about the fourth method of costing contract services and also the third method of costing contract services. So third one is cost plus profit percentage basis. This has an advantage of providing a perfectly viable, flexible program as the customer is free to determine their own needs as things changes, such as low occupancy due to weather conditions. This also provides incentives for the contractor to increase their basic cost in order to earn more profits. The fourth method of costing contract services is cost plus fixed fee basis. The contractor is reimbursed for all costs like that of equipment, material, labor, etc., and is paid a fixed fee for the management of the program. The fifth method of costing contract services is unit rate agreements. Now, most contracts agree on unit rate basis. The detail of the area to be covered and the job frequency is given by the executive housekeeper. The service provider is asked to give the cost as per the area. The cost is calculated on the basis of area measured by the contractor. The cost is calculated in as follows: man hours is equal to areas into time into frequency. So, if a contractor firm has to clean 5 different areas, taking 2 hours each and twice a week, then the man hours will be calculated as we'll discuss in next slide, and the calculation will be on the basis of this information. In previous slide, we have 5 different locations to be cleaned, 2 hours in each area, and twice is the time. Therefore, man hours is equal to 5 into 2 into 2 hours is equal to 20 hours. To the cost of wages for workers and supervisors, the firm adds costs of equipment, agents, and supplies plus overheads and profits and then quote a price. So this is again one of the way to calculate the cost for the contract services. And now we will try to understand about the guidelines for hiring the contract services. First one is prepare a detailed specification indicating exact number of working hours, areas, process, frequency, time factor, etc. as we have discussed in our previous slides as well. Put out tenders to at least three contractors and compare their rates, not necessarily choose the cheapest one because the work standard may be poor. So strike out a balance. So best way to choose who is a good contractor is by tracking their previous working records in the same organization or in some other organization. Consider the length of contract. It should not be more than 2 years. Usually, contracts are for 1 year, but it should not be more than 2 years. Also, the condition of termination should be penned down clearly so that we don't have any scope of discrepancy between the service provider and the service user. So we'll continue with the guidelines for hiring contract services. Carefully study should be made regarding payment methods. Try to select a local contractor because it is easy to approach them in case of any problem. Check the type and amount of supervision. Check on all other arrangements after the contract is awarded, like that of security passes, meal coupons, locker facilities, etc. Spot checking the work after the contract has been awarded. Now, let us discuss about the advantages of contract services. A budget can be worked out accurately because the price is known for a given period and may be economical than direct labor and services. The contractor is responsible for recruiting, training, paying, and dismissing. Hence, hotel saves times of recruitment and on training. In case of any problem, dismissing is also done by the contractor. Contract services eliminate many of the problems between management and unions. The contract company may offer bigger pay than the direct labor and therefore attract more qualified and competent staff. Eliminates the need to buy specialized equipment and permit extra work without the need of increasing the staff. Specialized contractors may be able to cope more easily in case of an emergency. And now let us discuss about the disadvantages of the contract services in this particular slide. Cost may be too high for the acceptor. It weakens the management authority over the quality and loyalty of staff working in the premises. The control is loosened over operations. There will be poor supervision in many cases. There is a natural tendency of the contractor to use poor quality product which can cause damage to the building, furniture, etc. So for example, for cleaning the floors, the contractor may use a cleaning agent which may not be of very high standard. So you have to be very careful when you are having contract. Security may be weakened because of the labor turnover. There is often no solution if a contractor does not carry out his work properly except to terminate the contract. So these were the disadvantages of contract services, and we have completed discussing the topic contract services. Wish you all a safe stay, and we will meet again in some another video on some topics which is related to housekeeping. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.